Switzerland may boast stunning landscapes and a robust economy, but it also comes with challenges for those who choose to live there. Everyday expenses, mandatory healthcare premiums, and co-payments can strain finances, while securing affordable housing in cities like Zurich or Geneva often proves daunting. Families quickly learn that daycare fees, even after subsidies, can outrun other essential monthly expenses. The country's conservative culture and strict regulations, combined with lengthy naturalization processes, round out the obstacles worth considering before making a move. Without further ado, let's just start. 1. High cost of living. Everyday living in Switzerland can feel like an exercise in managing sticker shock, such as rent, groceries, dining out, and mandatory insurance. Even routine mobility, such as public transport and domestic flights, command steep fares, while car insurance and road taxes alone can total around 385 Swiss francs each month. A single train ride can exceed 5 francs, and regional discount passes seldom offset the gap. On top of these direct costs, the Swiss tax system layers a value-added tax of 7.7% onto nearly all purchases, with still higher levies applied to services such as hotel stays, which can push a weekend getaway well beyond one's original budget. Groceries, too, reflect this environment, with everyday essentials like milk, bread, and cheese often costing 10 to 20% more than in neighboring countries. Dining out rarely offers relief, as meal prices on restaurant menus average 30 francs per person. Taken together, these high and cascading expenses mean that many expatriates and locals must carefully plan and prioritize their spending to maintain a comfortable standard of living. 2. Expensive healthcare and insurance. Navigating Switzerland's healthcare system often comes with a hefty price tag, as all residents are required to carry basic health insurance. That can cost between 300 and 400 Swiss francs per month for an adult. On top of these steep premiums, co-payments for doctor visits, specialist consultations, and prescription medications can quickly add up, pushing out-of-pocket expenses even higher. Many expatriates are surprised to learn that routine checkups or minor procedures still trigger deductibles before insurance coverage kicks in, which means budgeting carefully for seemingly small medical needs. Dental care and optical services typically fall outside standard coverage, forcing individuals to either secure costly supplementary plans or pay directly at the point of service. Annual premium increases are common, reflecting the country's high overall healthcare costs and putting further strain on household budgets. 3. Housing affordability. Finding a reasonably priced apartment in Switzerland's cities can feel like navigating a maze of soaring rents and fierce competition, especially in Zurich, Geneva, and Basel, where the demand far outruns supply. Many newcomers arrive expecting European-style prices, only to discover that a modest one-bedroom flat is often only what they can afford. With 63% of expats expressing dissatisfaction with housing affordability, it's clear that this challenge affects a majority of residents. Landlords frequently require extensive documentation, substantial 3-month deposits, and proof of stable income before even considering an application, further raising the barrier to entry. In vibrant urban districts, vacancies hover at record lows, meaning that a single well-timed viewing can result in dozens of disappointed applicants. Only suburban and rural areas may offer relief in the form of lower rents, but the trade-off often comes in the form of longer commutes and less convenient access to shops, schools, and cultural life. As a result, many expatriates end up sharing apartments or choosing smaller spaces, simply to keep their housing costs within reach. 4. High daycare costs. For a household earning 120,000 francs a year, the cost of daycare before subsidy can reach around 130 francs per day, which translates to roughly 2,600 Swiss francs a month based on a 20-day month. After subsidies, however, that daily rate typically falls to about 70 francs, bringing the monthly expense down to approximately 1,400 Swiss francs. These subsidies vary greatly from one canton to another and tend to decrease as household income increases, making the net cost highly dependent on where you live. In some cantons like Fribourg, for example, The Perolino creche charges just 52 francs per day for families earning 100,000. But that rate jumps to 86 francs per day for those with 150,000 income. As a result, two families with similar earnings can face significantly different daycare bills simply because of their location. Even after the subsidy, daycare remains a major monthly line item for many families, often rivaling with keeping a job by one of the parents. This variability makes it crucial to research county-specific subsidy schedules before budgeting for childcare. 5. Conservative social culture. Swiss society's conservative and rule-oriented nature often greets newcomers with a polite but reserved approach, making social integration a slow process. Surveys reveal that 62% of foreign residents find it difficult to forge friendships here, and roughly 54% report not feeling genuinely welcomed by locals. Even though the Swiss place a high value on protecting leisure time, workplaces can remain surprisingly formal when it comes to official hours and designated breaks. This formality extends to limited flexibility or remote work options, especially in traditional sectors where face time still trumps output. Despite Switzerland's reputation for efficiency and order, some newcomers struggle to navigate the work-life balance they had hoped for. The contrast between the country's generous vacation allowances and its rigid daily schedules can leave expats feeling caught between competing expectations. For those accustomed to more informal or flexible work cultures, adapting to these unwritten rules can be challenging. 6. Strict rules and regulations. In Switzerland, the emphasis on order and environmental management manifests through a web of strict rules and regulations that fill everyday life. Residents learn quickly that sorting their waste into multiple bins is not optional, but a legal requirement enforced by hefty fines for non-compliance. The tranquility of weekends is safeguarded by noise bans that extend to tasks as mundane as mowing the lawn or drilling, with municipal officers ready to impose penalties on those who disregard these bylaws. Even minor infractions, such as playing loud music or engaging in noisy renovations outside of designated hours, can result in swift fines that are neither trivial nor negotiable. While these regulations contribute to Switzerland's reputation for cleanliness and peaceful neighborhoods, they also demand constant vigilance from residents. Navigating this highly regulated environment often requires close attention to local rules that can vary by canton or even by municipality. For those accustomed to more relaxed standards, the Swiss commitment to enforcement can feel stifling and oppressive. 7. Limited nightlife and Sunday services. Night owls often find Switzerland's nightlife surprisingly toned down, with many bars and clubs winding down by midnight. Particularly in smaller towns, late-night venues are scarce. This early curfew contributes to 58% of expats expressing dissatisfaction with their social life, amplifying feelings of isolation. Weekend plans are further limited by Sunday service bans that shutter most shops, banks, and offices. Even in cities like Zurich and Geneva, where the scene is livelier, the cultural norm still favors quiet Sundays. Ultimately, residents learn to balance these predictable rhythms with their own need for connection, often turning to private gatherings or scheduled community events to fill the gaps left by limited public options. 8. Difficulty in acquiring citizenship. Obtaining Swiss citizenship often proves to be a marathon rather than a sprint, with the naturalization process stretching over 10 to 12 years and demanding unwavering commitment. Applicants must demonstrate proficiency in the local language, whether German, French, Italian, or Romansh, well beyond basic conversational skills. They are also expected to show deep integration into their community by participating in local clubs, volunteering, or otherwise engaging in everyday Swiss civic life. Swiss authorities examine carefully proof of respect for the country's values and customs, often requiring character references from neighbors or teachers. Additionally, candidates must hold a valid residence permit without any significant gaps or legal infractions, underscoring the importance of uninterrupted good conduct. Even after meeting all formal criteria, applicants may face interviews to assess their cultural knowledge and attachment to Switzerland. 9. seasonal crowds in tourist areas. During winter and summer peak seasons, Switzerland's most beloved destinations transform into bustling centers of activity where ski resorts and lakeside towns spill over with tourists. The narrow mountain roads can become clogged with buses and cars, turning what should be scenic drives into slow, stop-and-go traffic jams. Resort accommodations surge in price as demand exceeds supply, with hotel rates easily doubling compared to the off-peak months. Restaurants and cafes in popular villages often require reservations weeks in advance, and menu prices reflect the premium of being in high demand. Even small, charming lakeside promenades feel more like crowded boardwalks, making it hard to find a quiet spot to enjoy the view. Thanks for spending your time with us. Your feedback matters. If this video delivered value, give a thumbs up or subscribe. See you soon.